I think gaming addiction is quite an interesting area because I think people seem to separate it out from any other addictive tendency. And I think, once people, for example, if someone's very, very keen on football, playing football, and we don't call it football addiction. And I think it's interesting how we use the word addiction to potentially demonise activities. And I do believe there are addictive tendencies in people, but I think it's important to look at, not look at the activity in itself as being the demon, if you like, or being to blame, and actually look at what else is happening in people's lives to encourage that addictive behaviour.
Årsakene til at spill blir problematisk for noen mennesker like mange som det mennesker. Sånn at det liksom sammenblandingen av spillenes faktorer og de individuelle faktorene som gjør at for noen så blir dette vanskelig.
I know there are cases where gaming has taken over people's lives very, very negatively, but we shouldn't isolate it and demonise gaming for that. There are plenty of other addictions and plenty of other circumstances and examples of people having something in their lives that destroys their personal relationships, and that's a symptom of something else going on in their lives, and that's what we need to look at.
The media, I mean, particularly a while back, I think, when we had those, one computer screens, made a big fuss about children being addicted. I haven't seen that in 30 years of research. We had one girl once, in one situation, where we had to wrest the controller from her fingers, because it was somebody else's turn. But really that was because she'd invested so much time into the problem solving that was in front of her that she didn't want to then give up just before she'd got to the end point that she could see approaching. But I've never seen it.
I think each game is very, very different in terms of how it hooks people in. I think there are, in my experience, a lot of simulation games are extremely addictive because Sims, for example, which is very, very popular with teenage girls, is a simulation game where you're running a life and you're running potentially a family in some circumstances, and they become extremely addictive because you are living your life through this sim, and the sim, you become really invested in that sim's experiences and life on screen, and that can be extremely addictive in the broadest sense, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's problematic behaviour. But each genre of game, a lot of games have a beginning, middle and end, and you play through it and that's it, and people might play it again. Role-playing games and simulation games don't tend to have that end state.